All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the fourth part of the show, we are going to talk more about the exchange between Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson because I know that's been making headlines. I just wanted to talk about what they had to say regarding those arguments that they were having on the sidelines because, again, I know that's been making news lately, so I just want to switch things up. I do have, Garrett Wilson's stats from last year up, so I just wanted to pull them up, and there they are. These are his stats from last year with the combination of Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle and Trevor Siemian. Still at over 1,000 yards with that carousel at quarterbacks the Jets had. You'd like to see the touchdowns up, and I think if Rodgers does play a full year, he's definitely gonna have more than 3 touchdowns. But yeah, I just wanted to get into what Rodgers and Garrett Wilson had to say. So Rodgers said, "I think there's often appearance versus reality in life and on the football field, and what it appears to be might not always be what the reality actually is. As far as whether or not we're upset with each other, we're just passionately talking about the details of a situation that might not have to do with either of us. So G and I have got a great relationship. We spend time together off the field. On the field, there's a way of doing things that we both agree on. And when it doesn't look exactly how we want it to, sometimes there's some sad conversations that happen." I love those conversations. It's about details. It's about winning. It's about seeing what he sees. He's got to get on my page, but I've got to get on his page too, because he's got a whole book that I need to understand fully of skill set and ability and feel and rhythm and all the different things that he does out there. So those are good conversations. They might appear to be more heated than they are, but there's usually a smile on our face afterwards, which there was, because you did see that they were laughing at a certain point, at least one of us. And Garrett Wilson said he's vocalizing that he was mad. "I know when we're getting our butts kicked, I'm mad. I'm trying to say like the children's version of what he's saying because I don't want to. Not that these words are really bad to say, but I'm just trying to say it. Trying to cut them out. I might not vocalize that way to the guys, but I'm mad too, so it's kind of a mutual feeling. It's like I'm glad he said something. It's not personal. I don't think anyone in this building takes it that way. It's like, all right, this is our leader right here. Obviously, he's not happy with what we're doing, so it can be a reminder for some of the guys." And then Wilson also said that happened a little last year leading up to the season, so we got into it. You got to feel the practices without it once he was injured, and maybe how the practice didn't feel as detailed because of that. It's people like that demand greatness in your details and your mindset, and you're watching film and you could feel it when it's not there, when it's absent. I think we all appreciate it, but we all know it's go time when that comes out. Honestly, we're feeling it too. It's just certain guys have the ability to verbalize it in the way. He's one of those. Yeah, I mean, listen, I watching it, yeah, you saw that they looked like they were arguing, but I did see, Rodgers was smiling afterwards. I mean, it happens. It happens. Just like when you see, like I saw there was a fight that broke out in camp with the Steelers. It happens. Like, shouldn't be something like that we should be like, oh, Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson are getting into it. That's not good. This is really gonna hurt them once the season starts. Look, if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, they're gonna get on the same page. They are. They're gonna work things out. And I hope they do, because you know what, Garrett Wilson, after what the Jets went through last year with the quarterbacks, I mean, you want to see what this guy could really do with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. Now, again, he's not getting the Aaron Rodgers that won back-to-back MVPs and back in 2014 won an MVP. He's not getting that Aaron Rodgers, but he's getting a version of Aaron Rodgers that is the best quarterback that he will ever play with. Now, we did see a little bit of what they could do together, because in that preseason game against the Giants last year, Garrett Wilson did score a touchdown that was thrown by Aaron Rodgers. So we could talk about, well, he only played in 4 snaps last year. Well, he did also play in the preseason game against the Giants. Let's not forget that. And he did throw a touchdown to Garrett Wilson. And we want to see more of that this year. We really do. Because when Aaron Rodgers is healthy, whether you like him or not, him being healthy is good for the sport. It is. And, you look at Garrett Wilson's numbers last year, like I said, 3 touchdowns last year. He did have over 1,000 yards. I mean, I think even with what the Jets went through and getting over 1,000 yards, I mean, that is impressive, I would say. Because, some of those quarterbacks, might not deserve to really be starting games for your team, but they were starting for the Jets. So, and I think with Aaron Rodgers, those numbers are going to go up. And, you hope that Mike Williams is healthy. We'll see how the rookie Corley is. But, yeah, I mean, if Mike Williams is healthy and Corley's a good player, that, makes this Jets offense better. Because Mike Williams has had big games over the course of his career, but, he's working his way back from an ACL tear. So we'll see how he is. With the Jets, there are some ifs. I will admit that. If Mike Williams is healthy, if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, if the offensive line stays healthy, there's a lot of ifs, but it's particularly with the offensive side of the ball because we know the defense is going to be good, but it's the offense that is really going to dictate how the Jets are. The offensive line, like I said yesterday, that's going to dictate how the Jets are going to be this season, in my opinion. But in terms of what's these arguments that Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers are having, it's not a big deal. They don't think it's a big deal, and we still got their first game is on September 9th. They got plenty of time to iron this offense out, and they'll be ready to go when the season starts. They'll be ready to go. Now, it's against the 49ers, which I don't like them opening up against the 49ers in that pass rush on Monday night. Fans of the Jets are not very happy with that. They think the NFL has it out for them. But, just imagine Aaron Rodgers goes in there, goes up against a team that passed on him. First game back off the Achilles injury. And he goes out there and he lights it up. That would be unbelievable. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Jets are going to struggle in that game. I don't think they're going to get, blown out. I think they'll play a competitive game, but I think there's going to be some struggles. And they might lose a close game. And you go from there. But the Jets have a soft schedule to start the year. You got the Patriots, the Titans on the schedule, the Broncos are on the schedule. I mean, they got some winnable games. So, yeah, you got the 49ers out of the gate. If you can get past that game unscathed, nothing major happens, and you go from there, then you're in good shape. And I think the Jets, they got, like I said, they got some winnable games on their schedule. Yeah, I just want to see Aaron Rodgers play a full year. I just want to see what he could do for the Jets. Because we didn't get to see that. And, got Garrett Wilson's stats here. If he plays the full year, Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson's going to have a monster year. He should. And, if Aaron Rodgers is playing well, that also benefits Breece Hall as well. Because, expect him to do well this year. Just got to get good protection. That's really what it comes down to. Just got to get good protection. And we'll see. I know I've been positive on the Jets. I did get a comment yesterday on the Rodgers segment I did. The comment was Rodgers isn't going to make it through the whole season. He said Rodgers will not make it through the season. Not a lot of people are confident that Rodgers is going to make it through the season. They think he's going to get hurt again. And I hope not. I really hope not. But it's also like people want it to happen. I think there's some people that do want it to happen. But I don't understand why. when the guy plays, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, he didn't play like that his last season in Green Bay. I get it. But I think it was more than just, it was more of a team thing, too. Like, I don't think it just had to do with, well, Aaron Rodgers lost a step. I think there were a lot of moving parts. He had new receivers that he had to work with. He had the injury. There was, I think it was more than just his level of play declined. Now, I'm not saying that his play didn't decline at all. I mean, yeah, he's 40 years old now. A couple years ago, yeah, he was, still in his 30s, but still, I mean, obviously he's not the same player he was back when, he was winning MVPs the first two times. He's a different player. But I don't want to sit here and say, yeah, the Packers were terrible because, it was just because he was bad. But, I mean, they did make a run towards the end of the year and almost made the playoffs. But it was because of the Lions, who had nothing to play for. They were like, nope, you're not making it, man. You're not making it. You're going home. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think, though, about the arguments that Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers had on the sidelines or at practice. Do you think it's a big deal? Do you not think it's a big deal? I don't think it is. They're going to figure this out. They're going to iron things out before the season starts. But, again, you see it all the time across the league. Guys getting into it. It happens. But, yeah, you got people that'll say, well, if he didn't go on that trip, that probably wouldn't be happening. You know what? Even if he didn't go on that trip, this would still be happening. It doesn't matter, in my opinion. But we'll see. We'll see. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. We're going to take our final break of the show now. And then when we come back, the show has flown by. We will talk about what Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons, had to say regarding the Falcons quarterback position. So that is what we'll get to when we come back from our final break of the show. So, with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.